Good day everyone, welcome to day 26. This one was hard to stomach. I took a $458 loss, over traded, and now I'm heading back to paper trading to reset. My mental state this morning was confident, but I think I dropped my discipline right off the mark. I entered a high risk trade, got stubborn about cutting the loss, and I was adamant the stock would rally back to the VWAP so I could get out of the trade. I know I should have been trading the price action and my A setup, not this trade. When the stock didn't bounce straight away, I should have just taken the loss straight away. So lack of discipline played a big part in today's loss. So let's go over what happened. So the stock I was trading this morning, when I first opened up my platform, was NYXH. And this is sort of what I saw in the chart when I first got up. It had popped up, pulled back, and then pushed up through the VWAP and was retesting the VWAP. I actually didn't take that retest. It pushed up and I took the dip. I took an entry here as it dipped through VWAP. It did pop up a little bit, and it didn't bounce as far as I thought it would, and then it rejected and flushed down. I thought it was going to rally back up over VWAP and maybe test this again. It didn't. It just kept pulling back and kept dipping. I held this stock all the way through pre-market, refusing to sell it. And even when it's through here where it's, there's no volume in it anymore, the volume's gone. And it made a slight rally at the open to $7 and then rejected off that. And I think I ended up selling it somewhere around here. What time was that? Yeah, so I made a $360 loss on my first trade. And I got out at $6.43. At around 10:30. So I basically held that through the entire trading time in pre-market. And I took a couple of trades, a few trades after that, trying to recover that loss. The first two trades were okay on SXTP, a good dip trade on that one, and if I come over here, I'll bring up the chart here. So this had popped up here. It was on a pullback here and a micro pullback here. Nice entry there and quick exit here at the top of this candle here. So good trade, that dip trade, and then the next one was pretty similar really. I bought in here as it dipped down, didn't get a great fill, but then sold a little bit too early on here. I sort of sold at that previous resistance point there, but it did push further up through, I'd marked some trend lines and stuff. Yeah, and then the next trade I took was a terrible idea. Obviously the MACD was closed, and it had pulled back down to this level here, took an entry here. Could have probably taken a little bit of profit if I'd got out at the top of one of these wicks, but I kept holding, looking for a break through that level. It didn't break, it broke down instead, and really should have been out here straight away, but didn't, again, held too long, and that was another big loss, $128, I think, a loss on that one. Yeah, around 121. And then I had another small loss after that one as it broke down through the whole dollar. I bought in at the whole dollar, and then it sort of dipped down to 286. Probably could have held that a bit longer. It did rally back up over $3 again, as you can see by the next trade here on the sheet. I took a entry at $3.12 as it came back up, and then took an exit at 320. So I'll bring that one up. Yeah, so probably should have bought straight back in when I sold, and I would have got a better trade, but you can see here, that wasn't a bad trade. Got in and quick exit, and then bought the low on the next trade and got out when it hit resistance up here at the top, which was good. Should have bought in again as it dipped, and then it ripped up through VWAP. That would have been a better trade. I bought the dip again as it broke down through VWAP. When will I learn? That is pretty much the same trade as the first trade of the day. And once again, I got stubborn about holding it for profit. I should have just taken the loss here, either when it broke through that level there, or as it came back up somewhere around here. Should have just taken it off the table and got rid of it. Even here where it broke down, that should have been an exit, you know. But just getting stubborn holding these losers, and that's something I've really got to work on, is sticking to my rules around stop loss and just getting out earlier, not holding them, looking for you know, bounce back into profit. Because if I'm out here, then I can be back in down here on the lows, or as it's coming back up, re-enter and, you know, recoup the loss there. But when you're taking a loss this big, it's much harder to recover that, especially at this time of day when you know, my trading session's already been over for over an hour. It's not good. So those were my trades today, and it really was a pretty rough day. Really should have stopped after the first trade, the big loss at 360. And even that, I should have just cut it as soon as it dipped. I'll actually show you on the video here. As it came back down, I thought I would take a position on this entry, on this sort of support along here. And it did pop a little bit there. And that's where I should have taken my exit with profit. But now it's coming back up again, but it's not looking good. And even the chart didn't look that good. It's already coming down to where it started. So even here, you know, that's around my stop loss, like $20 down. I should be cutting it. Although I'm thinking it's possibly gonna, you know, break up through VWAP here, but just these topping tails at the top here of this candle here, this one here, it's showing selling pressure, and then there's these two topping tails here. You know, there's a lot of selling pressure on this at the moment, and yeah, like, it's not bad to hold here, I guess. It's kind of looking like it could break through, but if I speed that up a bit, actually, that's real time. But really, it's broken that level. Like, it's broken through that level there on that candle, and I should be, that's where my stop should be, and I should be getting out now. And especially now that it's, you know, these two red candles here, that red candle's broken down through that first red candle. So, you know, that should be saying, you know, it's not looking good, get out of your trade. But I was holding on for that small winner. So this carried on for quite a while, and it sort of held there at that level, but then here it breaks down, and this is where I definitely should have been getting out. you know, it's a $100 loss, but that's better than 300 or nearly 400. So what happened when I held this stock is that I missed out on all the opportunities in pre-market. So I missed out on NAOV's move. I did see it, but I couldn't trade it because I was holding this stock. Is that it there? NAOV, where did that go? It's in the weeks. NAOV is this one. Yeah, so NAOV is here, and you know it's popped up to $7, pulled back, gone into consolidations around $7, $6.75, and then it's broken up into $9.42. So, you know, this is the opportunity that I missed by holding on to a stock that there was no reason to be in that trade at all. So opportunity missed this morning by holding on to that. And then when I did sell, you know, trying to recover on SXTP, but if I bring up chart here, SXTP, and we'll come back to pre-market. So this popped here, pulled all the way back, and then popped again around 8:30. And, you know, it had a couple of good moves in here during pre-market, and then at the open, it ripped up to $4.37 from $2.40. So I missed most of this because I was still in that trade. I started trading this around this area here, I think. Let's have a look at the timestamp. What time was that? That was 10:24. I took my first trade on SXTP. So around here. So I was buying in on this candle here that was breaking up through here. And I was trading it through this area here. I bought that dip and I sold early there on that candle, and then the move finished. The MACD closed off here. I took a trade here, and this is the one where I got out way down here. And then it was below the VWAP, and I'm trying to trade it below the VWAP, which is not a good place to trade to the long side. So, you know, and maybe it would have been better off to have bought the low, you know, as it broke up through here, this entry here on the low, and held that through to VWAP maybe. But yeah, no, wasn't good trading at all below here. And it did break at the end of the day, but by that stage I had well and truly finished. I think I lasted to about here when it dropped down to here about 138. Sort of the last trade I took on it. But it did rally. Anyway. Yeah, so not a good day at all really for me for trading. And you know, what does this mean? You know, for my account, I've taken a massive loss today. I've just yesterday managed to get back into profit for the month, and now I'm even further into the red. After the first trade, I was really chasing stocks. It was coming to the end of my time trading, and there were less opportunities. You know, I did get a couple of good trades, but I kept trying and forcing them when I should have walked away sooner. The same old story. I keep repeating this mistake. Now I have to pay the price and go back to paper trading, you know, for at least 2 days, just in case I end up spiraling and taking another big loss. The decision to return to paper trading is, you know, it's part of my account risk management. If my account falls below a certain level due to a big loss or multiple red days, I return to paper trading. Make sure my mental well-being and attitude is in the right place before I return to trading live. If I'm still feeling the effects of a big loss, then I may make it worse. So being relaxed and calm and having the right mindset will stop me from spiraling into overtrading. And I can focus on my strategy and taking A-quality setups. So I take a break from live trading, but still stay in touch with the market by, paper trading. Still experience in the market, so it's still good. Really, managing risk is the most important thing for me, and cutting losers early is a must. I just didn't follow my rules today, and I paid for it. I spent all of pre-market holding that stock, missing all the opportunities, on other stocks that were actually moving in the right direction. And then when I finally did cut it, it was a much bigger loss than was necessary. I really don't like losing, and I get stubborn about it sometimes, but that's just ridiculous. Because now I have to face making back this big loss next week and possibly the week after. So what needs to change before returning to live trading? I need to reinforce my strategy and trading only A setups and the right stocks at the right time, making sure I'm cutting losers and, getting out at my stop loss. Make sure my mental state is good and I'm not feeling like I have to make the loss back quickly. And that'll come with patience and time. Once I go back live, I'll still have the guardrails up and will only be taking one trade a day until I've recovered my account over my $1,000 threshold. So until then, I'll only trade my best setup and make sure the stock meets the right criteria to trade. This wasn't my day, but I'm trying to stay accountable and keep showing up even when I'd rather hide the results. What would you have done differently? Let me know in the comments. And if you're on this journey too, hit subscribe for the daily ups and downs, and I will see you tomorrow. Hea popo.